Hello, Rhonda. Thank you for joining Operation Graduate Student Spotlight today.
You're welcome. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. I always love seeing our students, and it's such a pleasure. I want to, first of all, start by thanking and acknowledging you for even doing this because you had mentioned to me that even recording yourself is kind of stepping outside of your comfort zone, but you wanted to do it to be able to support others. So,
Yes.
right out of the gate, thank you for doing it.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. So, yeah. So, if I stumble a little bit, this is new to me, but I look forward to this.
Well, I think you're going to do very well. If how you've performed as a student is any indicator of how you're going to do today, it's going to be phenomenal. So,
Okay. Thank you.
we're going to probably spend about 15 minutes or so just going over some questions about what it's been like to go back to school as an adult and maybe even specifics to your degree program and your goals.
Okay.
So as a starting point, tell everybody a little bit about what you're studying and how you ended up choosing your degree program.
Well, I'm studying business administration with a concentration in management. I chose this because I'm interested in leadership. I've always been interested in leadership, problem solving, helping the organization run more efficiently. Business administration, it also gives me a strong foundation in different areas such as finance, marketing, and operations, while the management concentration allows me to focus on developing skills to lead teams, make strategic decisions, support the organization growth overall. I felt the program would give me both the flexibility and the tools that I need to succeed in different career paths within the business.
It's a great program to start broad, right? And then you can really apply those skills across so many different industries.
Yes,
And
yes,
it's great hearing that you want to take some of your personality and put it into a leadership role. That seems
yeah,
very natural.
yeah. It does. Actually, I hear that all the time, but I'm always leading from the back,
Uh-huh.
behind the curtains.
Okay, so it's different, right? Today you're in
Yes,
front of the
it is.
curtain.
It is.
And so do you want to talk a little bit more about your specific goals at this point? Anything else that you want to share besides what you just did?
Um, Well, with business administration degree, my career goal is to move into leadership roles, like I said,
Yeah.
guide the teams, improving efficiency within the team, um, and contribute to the growth of the organization. Especially interested in developing people.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of oxymoron with me not being public speaking, but in creating a positive work environment. I've always work towards creating a positive work environment no matter what is going on in the office. Working with teams is
Yeah.
kind of difficult with the different personalities,
Hmm.
but I'm really big on that.
And you know what? There's nothing wrong with not being a huge extrovert, right? Sometimes I think that's a myth that you have to be an extrovert to be a strong leader. In
Hmm.
many cases, I found that those who kind of sit back and make things happen quietly from a distance can be very
Hmm.
effective because they do allow others to shine and develop then in their
Yes,
role.
yes, and I don't mind letting other people shine.
Hmm. It's rewarding.
Yes, it is.
It sounds like you can kind of leave your ego at the door. You're not real ego
Yes,
driven.
no, I'm not. Not at all.
So, Rhonda, can you talk a little bit about what it has been like working with Operation Graduate?
Well, working with Operation Graduate, it has been positive and supportive experience.
Hmm.
They provided guidance, encouragement, and resources to help me stay focused. I really look forward to the text messages and the emails that I receive from them every 6 weeks, because when I start to feel like unmotivated, like, oh my God, I just don't want to do this anymore. And then an email will pop up or Daryl will call me, and then I just get that extra boost of energy when I hear from them or when I get that email or that text message from them or even study hall, just seeing their face, that presence. I really like that. That's really a motivation for me.
Well, that's great to hear. We hear a lot from our students, Rhonda, that just knowing that there's somebody out there who cares about your success and that you're not
Yes.
going through it alone
Right.
makes a huge difference.
It
And I'm
does.
glad to hear that, first of all, Daryl's phenomenal, right? He's been with the
Yeah.
company now over 8 years.
Wow. Okay.
So that's a really great milestone. And you probably have gotten to know Brittany a little bit
I
too,
have received a message from her today. I was just
right?
about to say that. Yes, yes. And
And
and I appreciate how approachable and committed they are to the progress, and providing opportunities for growth. I really appreciate that.
well, I'll tell them. I'll share the
Okay.
sentiment as soon as we're done recording, and I know they'll be excited to hear that from you. Um, so I want to acknowledge your incredible academic performance. Recently, you were on the dean's list.
Yes,
How did
yes.
that feel?
It felt great because I am my own worst person when it comes to not a perfectionist, but I don't want to make below an eight. And that's how I compete against myself. And when
Okay.
I heard that I was on the dean's list, which it never dawned on me that I was, it was exciting to me. And I just couldn't wait to tell everybody because that's what I was striving for.
Uh-huh.
Not necessarily be on the dean's list, but be the best that I could be and make straight A's across the board. Not just straight A's, 105, not just 100, but 105. That was
Mhm.
me competing against myself, and that was my goal. And I was so excited to get that email that I was on the dean's list.
Well, I'm glad we shared that. It sounds like you didn't even know otherwise. Had we not,
I didn't. I didn't.
you hadn't told me that, so that's good to know. That's definitely one of our favorite messages, that we get to
Yeah.
send out. Do you remember, Rhonda, how did you hear about Operation Graduate originally? I know it's been a while, so what do you
Yeah,
remember?
well, actually, I first heard about Operation Graduate on Facebook. Actually, the program immediately caught my attention. It just kept popping up in my For You page, and I'm like, okay, what is Operation Graduate? And because when it caught my immediate attention because it focused on supporting students in achieving their educational goals, and I knew that was something that I wanted to complete. I
Mhm.
said, you know what? Let me put my information in. And I just put a portion of my information in. And then I started receiving the messages because, once you put your phone number in, I started
Yeah.
getting the text messages. And then Daryl called me and I'm like, is this a scam? What is this? And then I eventually started talking to him and having a conversation. I said, okay, well, this is real. This
Uh-huh.
is real. And so yeah, so he kept calling. He kept telling me all of the benefits of it. And I said, you know what? Let me try it. And I did, and I am so happy I did.
It's interesting to hear you say that you were what I would consider a healthy skeptic, right? At the beginning. Is this
Yeah,
even real?
yes,
Uh, and I bet Emily Jones, our marketing specialist, will be
yes.
very excited to know that you found out about us on Facebook because she runs those campaigns.
Okay, okay.
So all the dots are connecting here.
Yes,
What do you think it was that maybe made you start feeling more comfortable? Was it those conversations with Darren or with Daryl that like made you say,
yeah.
"Oh, this is a real person"?
Yes, yes, because we actually did a video and he and Brittany they walked me through certain steps because I would hear from him first and
Mhm.
then once we started talking and I committed to it then I would get emails and text messages from Brittany and we also did video which made it feel like real life.
Uh-huh.
This is a person. This is not just somebody who's sending me text messages or emails. They actually want to do a Zoom call, a video call, and I actually see a person here on the other
Mhm.
side of the screen, and it made it feel real. And they made me feel so comfortable. They didn't push me to do this. They let me do it at my own pace, and I really like that.
Well, it's good to hear, Rhonda. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. Some great feedback. Um, what advice would you give to somebody who maybe struggles with time management? We hear that a lot from our students. You seem to
Yes,
be doing very well. Many
yes.
of our students juggle work, school, family responsibilities. Do you have
Hmm.
any advice in that area?
Yeah, well, my advice would be to focus on time management by creating a schedule and sticking to it.
Okay.
That's one of the main things because we create schedules and we start our list and we check off a few things, then we get busy with life.
Hmm.
If you can stick to that schedule that you create and set priorities, priorities is key. Sometimes you have to decide what needs your attention
Hmm.
the most that day. If you have family members, like if you're married or you just have family members in the house who can um, take whatever task off your hand for maybe an hour to give you time to study for that hour, or
Hmm.
block off a time in your day, not a large amount of time. Do it in small increments,
Yep.
because just like we have discussion question one day, or and then you reply to two people, you just block off the time for the discussion and then go do something else and then come back and then reply to two people. That, I'm telling you what I do. And
Hmm.
I started to schedule myself that way. Whenever we have tech live with the professor on that day, I block out that whole day after afternoon for tech live and to do whatever lessons that I need to do. That's my day to really catch up. And then by Saturday, everything has to be turned in by Sunday, 11:59 p.m. So Saturday, I make sure all of my assignments are complete by Saturday. If I get something, if I'm going out of town, I go ahead and complete my assignments early in the week or the
Hmm.
week before, depending on how long I'm going to be out of town. So it's all about setting your time and
Hmm.
sticking to it. I mean, setting a schedule and sticking to your schedule, um, and making sure you decide what's important and what's not important, what can be done right now and what can be done later on in the day.
So constantly kind of shifting your priorities as they change.
Yes,
But I
yes,
also heard something really important, Rhonda. You're not procrastinating. You're getting
mhm,
ahead of it, right?
yes,
You don't even
yes.
think about Sunday. You're like, I'm going to have everything I need done by Saturday.
Hmm.
Or if I'm going out of town, I handle it before I even leave so that it's in the rear view mirror at that point. And you can
Yes,
probably focus on whatever fun event you're doing out of town.
yes, yes.
I
And
love.
actually, that advice was from one of the professors in one of my classes. She said she gave us that advice if you're going out of town, because I usually just take my computer with me and
Uh-huh.
work on it while I'm on vacation. And I'm like, what am I doing? And she
Mhm.
suggested, just in one of the tech lives, she was saying, if you're going out of town, you can work ahead. It doesn't matter, because I put myself on a schedule where I do certain things every day. And
Mhm.
then when I decided to go on vacation, I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And it kind of like I became overwhelmed. And then in the tech live, she said that, and I'm like, oh, but that makes sense. Go
Mhm.
ahead and work ahead if you know you're going to be on vacation, because there's going to be extra distractions there.
Well, I love it. It sounds, Rhonda, like you have such a good, healthy balance, right? Where you're
Yeah.
not saying, oh, I'm going to sacrifice my vacation. You're like, I'm going to figure out a way to still take that and do well in
Yes,
school.
yes, yes,
Sounds like a
absolutely.
nice balance.
Yes,
So, what advice would you give to someone who is thinking about going back to school as an adult online? A lot of students think about it, but then they really have a hard time getting over that hump and taking action. So,
yes.
what's your advice, Rhonda?
My advice to someone thinking about going back to school online is to go for it, but go in prepared.
Okay.
Um, Online learning requires a lot of self-discipline and motivation, like I spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
So staying organized and setting consistent study routines is really important.
Mm-hmm.
Treat your classes like it's a job. Set aside dedicated time, limit distractions, and stay engaged by participating in discussions and ask questions. Also, don't be afraid to reach out for support from professors,
Mm-hmm.
advisors, and classmates, because I do that a lot. And the flexibility of online school is a big advantage, especially if you're balancing family and work. But success comes from holding yourself accountable and staying
Mm-hmm.
committed to your goals.
Well, you are such a great example of that. And I'm really grateful that you spent some time to share that advice today.
Yes, thank
It's
you.
very powerful when it comes from another student, right? That
Yes,
can be a huge motivator to know that you're not going through it alone, that you're
yes,
part of a community of adults and like-minded folks, and
yes,
that you have the support along the way, somebody to celebrate the successes with you.
Right,
It's such
exactly.
an honor to do that with you. Our team really appreciates that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Is there anything else you would like to add before we wrap up today?
Well, just overall, if you really are thinking about going back to school, because I've even started giving referrals to my colleagues at work
Mhm.
to move forward. Don't just stop, because I stopped 3 times. And then, like I said, once I decided that this is what I was going to do and I prepared myself for it, just take that first step. That first step is usually the most toughest step, and you
It
start to
is.
overthink. Just take that first step. That's my advice. That first step, once you take it and you realize, this is not as bad as I thought it was. These
Mhm.
are real people here that are actually motivating me. These people in my class, they work, they have family, we're all in this together, just like you said, and you can feel the support and the love and the dedication from staff, professors, everybody around you. And I'm so happy that I took this step and I'm moving forward with this.
Well, Rhonda, I mean, we absolutely get some of our best students, at Operation Graduate through referrals from our current students. So
Okay.
it's great to hear that you're starting to talk about us at work. You mentioned some of your colleagues, and
Yes.
I agree that once you get past that initial hurdle and
Yes.
take that first step, then as you're walking down the path, it kind of unfolds,
Yes. Absolutely.
right? But sometimes you have to start moving and gain a little momentum to get that to happen.
Yes, I agree.
Can I ask you one last thing?
Sure.
So you had attended school a couple times, right? Right now you're
Yes.
attending Indiana Tech, but you had gone to a couple of colleges first.
Yes.
Any insights on the differences? Like, have you noticed any positive aspects of where you are now in comparison to where you were before? Any differences?
So yes, absolutely. So where I was before, I took on um, 12 credits, 12
Okay.
credit hours, working full time, 12 credit hours, married, 3 small children.
Okay.
And the full time was, I was so happy to be doing the work, because I was there doing the work at the table with alongside my children. But it started to become so overwhelming. The workload that the professors were giving us, you would get more work online than you would if you were in the classroom, because I've been
Okay.
in both. Then you were in the classroom, and it was like 12 weeks of each session was 12 weeks, and
Yeah.
it became so overwhelmed and I was so stressed. But with Operation Graduate, even though although the 6 weeks are back to back to back,
Mhm.
but it's 6 weeks, and that's a time cut in half, and I'm taking the one class versus 3 classes. And the classes, the assignments that we have for Operation Graduate, they're still very detailed as the other college, but they just give you time to process and think, and they're open um, to allowing you to be who you are, to speak
Huh?
freely. You know,
Huh?
it's structured, but not so military structured like the school was I was before Operation Graduate, Indiana Tech. I mean,
Okay, got it. So there's a big difference, it sounds like, between
oh
a
yeah,
traditional format where you're in a 3 month long semester taking
mhm.
3 or 4 classes at once versus one class at a time, 6 weeks. It's
Yes,
accelerated, so you're still actually a full-time student, but
yes,
that difference in the format makes all
mhm.
the difference in the world for an
It does.
online adult learner because, like you mentioned, you're not spread in so many different directions. You can actually focus on that particular course,
Yes,
which I think allows you to get a lot more out of it. And you
it
mentioned
does.
the interactivity, the real-time feedback, even as an adult online student. I think a lot of students are concerned that they're going to feel isolated or alone. But
Yeah.
in reality, there's a ton of opportunities to connect and interact through
Hmm.
the discussion boards and the live tech,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Yes, yes,
I'm glad I
because
asked. I think that's a powerful message to share.
yes, yes, because even with the discussion, when we respond, Like if there's someone, I'm just going to say John Doe. John Doe is
Yes.
one of the students in the class, and I'll say, "Hi, John Doe. I appreciate what you said about this." That's how I respond in a discussion question because it's like we're actually interacting
Mhm.
with one another. It's not just I just respond. I call them by name. We
Mhm.
call each other by name to let them know that we are here. We are real people. Um, but with the other with the where I was going before, um, I was just doing the work, get the grade,
Mhm.
do the work, get the grade, do the work, get the grade. There wasn't interacting. Um, the professor, you send them an email, you get the response in a few days or whatever. But I just really enjoyed this so much better.
Oh, well, Rhonda, I'm glad to hear.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for everything you shared today. I feel like this might be a good place for us to conclude.
Okay,
So it's been such a pleasure. Congratulations on all the success you've been having.
thank you
And
so
we'll
much.
look forward to that next dean's list next
Yes,
semester.
yes. All right, thank you so
Thanks,
much, Emily.
Rhonda.